right. So in this episode, I have got Jen with me, and Jen, as far as I know, loves tech. That's what Jen is all about. And so I thought I'd invite Jen to talk about how to overcome the overwhelm that you might feel when you're sort of new-ish in business. Because in my experience, I see people feel really enthusiastic about starting their business, but then not actually knowing what they need to know and then discovering there's so much that you need to know once you start digging into things. So maybe, Jen, you could start by telling us about what sort of problem someone is having when they come to you, and then we can progress to how do you overcome the overwhelm.
Gotcha. Yes. Yeah. So I get a lot of people in the a lot of people on my mailing list are in the early stages, and a lot of my clients have got off the ground and DIY'd it, and they have kind of different problems. The people at the beginning are really, they have that overwhelmed and that shiny object thing.
Yeah.
And the people that have DIY'd it are very tired.
No.
So they feel through it. They're very proud of themselves, but very tired and a little bit unsure, a little bit worried if they've done it right.
Ah, wow. Yeah.
So there's, the two stages there. So if anyone listening is out there and like, yeah, that sounds okay, that sounds like me, yes, yeah, that is how we do it. And yeah, if DIYing it is fine, don't think that you have to you can DIY your tech, set up your own website, mailing list, and so on. And you will worry if you've got it right. That's quite normal. Yeah, I don't think there's many people that sit out there going, yeah, I've got all this 100%. Anyway, I've wandered off on a tangent, as is my wont. And but yeah, with the overwhelm, I think it comes because you said it, you get really enthusiastic at the start of your business because you're like, you've got this idea, you've got something you want to do, and you're like, yeah, this sounds great. And then sort of the reality sets in, it's like a fart in the face where you're like, oh my God, no. Suddenly what? I have to do taxes, I have to do this, and all the reality creeps in. And you could feel bad for a bit. You feel like, oh, am I just being naive and so on? But I think what happens as well is certainly what's happened in the past. There's been an awful lot of people teaching you like, hey, I'll teach you all the ins and outs of how to set up your business. And they're not really that they're either not really very techie themselves, which is, some will say that and they'll bring in other people who are. Some will say, hey, don't worry about it too much. Just get anything out there, which is good advice when you're starting. It can create a mess further down the line. And I think this is where the third strand comes in that can be problematic, is when people are pushing you to be too big too quick. They've got a sweet affiliate deal with System X and they're saying, use System X, and it's kind of like, okay, and this is where you have, horses for courses, tech for, I can't think of a great sort of funny thing there. Insert amusing phrase there.
Just use ChatGPT to write that for you.
Yeah, it's just like people can end up overcomplicating everything. And I think, if I could reach through the screen, reach over the airwaves and grab people by the lapels who are starting out and getting all worried about the tech, I'd be like, just keep it really simple. And I would say a manual process is absolutely fine. And no one automates their business when they start.
No.
There's this huge thing on automated, because they see the big people being really automated and they think either that's what I want, and yes, that's a good thing to want, or that's who I want to be. And it's like, you won't be at the beginning. You'll be doing this manually, and that's fine. Because when you do it manually, you're figuring out your process and your steps, and then you can get the tech in. So
exactly, that's spot on.
Yeah.
Don't automate it until you know how it works and the process works for your business.
Yeah. And it's automating stuff and standardizing and systemizing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that to something that's really new. It's like asking a toddler to run a marathon. It's, you know, it's your business is still a toddler. It's still finding its feet. It's still
Yep.
taking steps and falling over
Yep.
and landing on its bum. And that's
Yep.
quite normal and that's fine. And you can't automate and systemize that because you haven't nailed down what you're about. And the best way to nail down what you're about is just put it out there, do it, fling the spaghetti at the wall, figure it out, experiment. Yeah.
Those are some beautiful analogies there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
it's,
do
yeah, I
fling the
think you've
spaghetti at
got
the
a
wall.
good
It
point there.
will. Sorry.
Oh, it's good to try stuff and get a feel for how things works rather than be afraid to do it at all.
Yep, you will break it. You will get things wrong. You will send out the wrong email to people. I think as well, this is where, you know, your copy comes in, your words and your voice and your personality. Because no one ever minds. Well, actually, that's an absolute. Can't talk in absolutes. People rarely mind it if you make a mistake and you send them an email saying, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I did this wrong. Here's the stuff," you know, or if you
Even big
send them an email,
companies do that.
yeah, or if you send them an email saying, "You know what, I would so love to have an all singing, all dancing, fancy pants invoicing system, but hey, you know, like we can't all go on a date with the person of our dreams, so here's my invoice in Word or in
Yeah.
Google Docs."
Yep.
Absolutely fine. You know, you can make a joke out of it. You can use a bit of humor will get you a long way. And yeah, and just don't be afraid. When I say the flinging the spaghetti at the wall thing, that was it. I mean, it makes me shudder because I'm such an organized, systemized, everything in order person. I mean, if I go to your house, I will go to your fridge magnets on your fridge and straighten them all. So that's how I like everything organized. I can't help myself. I would do it, and I'm not judging you. So when I see people flinging spaghetti at the wall, you know, trying all these different things, it does make me shudder a little. So, you know, when it comes to the tech, I would say, you know, keep it as simple as possible. Experiment certainly with your offers, with, you know, your marketing, with your delivery. That's all fine. Don't worry about getting an expensive system in. Please don't get an expensive system in. Please use the cheaper ones, the free ones.
Yeah.
Please
There's
do it
absolutely no
manually.
need to fork out for the premium email service provider. Like, you don't need the premium MailChimp or MailerLite or whatever you use.
No, I think I put together once a little here's what to use thing, and it came out about 150 pounds for the year. Like, there you go.
That's
That would set
reasonable.
you up. Yeah, so certain things I would say pay for, hosting, email. Apart from that, yeah, you're not needing the big system. It's very tempting as well. We've just had Black Friday where everyone's going, hey, there's this great deal.
Oh yeah.
Those great deals have been around for years. Those great deals will roll around next year.
Exactly.
You don't need to worry. And don't worry about making too much of a mess. You can clear it up later. That's where I come in with a lot of my clients have made a load of mess, and I go and go, right, let's, you know, they've got half their stuff done manually, some of it systemized. I'm like, great, let's systemize it now.
I don't know what it's like in England, but in Australia, if you're a small business and you mess something up with the tax office, like, they're fine. They understand that you're just a solo and they'll forgive you.
They will, yeah. I mean, I don't dig into the client's tax things, but yeah, they do. You know, I made a mistake early on in my years. I received £900 by accident.
Oh,
I wasn't meant to get. And when I found it, I just rang them up and said, oh, what do I do? And they said, oh, just write into us, tell us it was a mistake and refund the money. And that was the end of it. Nobody banged on my door. Nobody closed my
No,
business down.
they didn't send the police after you.
No, there was no big scary bald men with dogs. Nothing like that happened at all.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I say keep it simple
Yeah.
with the when you're experimenting with your offers and your marketing, don't go for the big hairy confusing system. Go for the cheaper ones. Do it manually if you need to, and that way you're less likely to run into issues. Most of the time I see people having problems when they get an idea that they won't let go of, and they get fixated on making this look bigger than it actually is. And they'll either buy a big system or they'll get something sort of done by someone, some techie somewhere.
They'll pay
and
for
it's
someone on
not-
Fiverr and it's a mess.
Yeah, and it's not documented. And
Oh.
it's documented nowhere. It knocks other things over. It's like, oh God. And that's another thing about Fiverr. I mean, with sort of asking people to do tech things, you need to kind of know what you're asking for. If you're going to do that, you can't just say to someone, hey, can you set up my sales page for me?
Exactly.
Not going to work. So and when it comes to designing tech, the greatest tool is this one. And for the people who can't see, I'm holding up a pen and paper because you can design all your processes quickly on there and then just do them as cheaply and as simply as you can.
Yeah.
Think about the minimum viable system. Think to yourself, what's the quickest and easiest way for me I can get this out the door?
Yeah, good. Okay, so I want to put forward a hypothetical situation. So let's say the start of 2024 and you're a relationship coach and you want to start a group program with a new business. So what is the minimum tech that you need to be focusing on?
Oh, for that, my sort of business brain comes in a bit and goes, well, have you already got a big enough list to fill this group program for a start?
All right, so email list should be a priority if you don't have that.
If you don't have that, start building up your email list.
Yep.
The sort of number they give is around 100. You get 100 people on your list, you'll start seeing, you'll start getting better conversions, because I think it's something like 1% might become buyers. So 1% of 100, you're not going to get a huge lot of traction with a smaller list. Some people do, though. I launched something out to a list of what was it? There was 50 people and I got 6 buyers, so that was pretty cool. It does happen, but yes, build your list if you don't have one. Build your audience as well if you don't have one. A group program, I would say easiest thing to do is just put it into your mailing system. I would go with MailerLite because you can start on free. I would go with new MailerLite and just schedule out the content of your program as you would newsletters. So just put everyone into a group and schedule it there.
Yeah, I agree. That's really simple. You don't need to get multiple different tech platforms to run your program.
No, you can just easily email people saying, hey, here's the Zoom link for our call. Here's the materials. If you've got any problems, email me back. Great. In terms of paying for it, Stripe, PayPal even. You could even send out a Word or Google Doc invoice and do bank transfers. It depends on the relationship you've got with the people. Some people are a bit wary of doing bank transfers. Some people would prefer to pay by card. So Yeah, Stripe's a bit of a battle. PayPal's probably a bit easier, but yeah, not my favorite. So Stripe if you can manage it.
Yeah.
Or Square. I've heard good things about Square as well. That might be because Square has an affiliate program. Stripe doesn't. So uh, I've not dived into Square myself, but one of those for taking payments, or just PayPal, or just ask people to pay you, and then keep a track of, you ask people to pay you by bank transfer, and then just keep a track in a little spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's simple. And so, Jen, is that something you can help someone with?
Yes, I do. I set that up. I tend to work with people who are a bit further along in their business. But with starters, I do hold every month a open office.
Oh, how does that work?
That is where it's just me on Google Meet, and people can drop in, and it's like my virtual office where there's a couple of squishy, comfy sofas, and they can ask anything they want.
Nice.
Some people come with a they've got a question, they really want to know, a tech question, so others just turn up to have a cup of tea and a chat.
Oh, that's cool.
Often while we're chatting, people will go, oh yeah, there was something I wanted to ask, blah blah. And we help each other out with our sort of tech and our process and our systems.
Oh,
so that's really useful, and it's a
yeah.
nice way for people to get to know me as well. And get some help. And it's generally people when they're fed up Googling, and they're fed up asking around everyone and getting 5 different answers all conflicting with each other. So
yeah, totally. That's one thing I wanted to touch on was crowdsourcing advice from Facebook groups.
Okay, if anyone can see my face now, it's just a face of disgust. Yeah, those are a bit of the bane of my life, because people come in and they go, okay, they'll ask, what's the best system for this? They'll get different answers from different people with different approaches, different goals, different aims. So the best system really is the one that helps you achieve your goal in the fastest way and easiest way. And so different things will suit different people. You won't know what will suit you till you try a few as well. So there is no best really, but if you start asking, well, look, I'm trying to achieve this and I want it to do that as well. And please bear in mind this other thing.
That helps.
What do you have? Just being a bit more open about your situation.
Yeah, that's actually good advice for how to ask for advice.
Yeah. And beware the affiliates. I mean, I affiliate with a lot of stuff, but only stuff I either use or have used, or a lot of people I know use and find good. So in some groups you can get people saying, oh yeah, this is really great, here's, I've got an affiliate link, la la la. You're like, others will be like, well, I use this system, it's really good, I like it because of this, that and the other, and here's my affiliate link. I have no issue with those people. Just put a bit more thought into it. So that's where I stand with Facebook. And it could just be even more overwhelm as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's really helpful. So I like to keep these podcast episodes short. So I thought maybe we'd just move into a announcement you'd like to make, or a plug, or some kind of service.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'd just say come and join me as my pen pal. I get on my mailing list, on my website, hellyeahtech.com. That's probably ages me going hellyeahtech.com. hellyeahtech.com. Let's use the FQDN. And I think there's a page on there, pen pals. Come along, sign up, it's free, and then you'll be asked as well if you want to get notified about the open office stuff. So if you want that, I hold those oh God, I did remember the structure. They're either on a Wednesday or a Thursday. They're usually in the first or the second week of the month. They do move around a bit because I move around a bit. I'm a house sitting digital nomad, so I'm all over the place.
Ah,
And around 4 to 5 p.m. UK time. So whoever that would suit, yeah, it's not just geographical. Some people just like to stay up late and work in the wee small hours. So, yeah, if that time suits you, I'd say come along there and get to know me, get a feel for me, and see.
oh, that's lovely. Yeah. So that was Hell Yeah Tech, was it?
Yes, hellyeahtech.com.
How did you come up with that name?
Oh my God, that's the whole story.
Oh, okay.
I'm not very good at naming things. I needed to rename my business because my business was very gendered before, and I'd realised like, oh no, I'd not really, I'm more I am non-binary rather than female. And so I had to get rid of that, and I didn't know what to do. And I was living in Krakow in Poland at the time. I didn't know how to name it. So I went out and got really drunk and ended up in a dive bar in the Kazimierz district when the name came to me. And I scribbled it onto the table. So it's probably still, the words Hell Yeah Tech is still on the table in that bar.
Oh,
And
beautiful. I love
after the
it.
hangover, I registered the time.
Oh,
That's it.
that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that story too. That made my day.
Oh.
Yeah, cool. All right. I'm going to wrap up here, but it's been really beautiful to have you. And yeah, great to hear. Great to hear that there's someone out there who's on your side when it comes to all the tech headaches.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just smoothing it out and making it simple and
Mhm,
sustainable.
mhm.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. I hope to see you around on the internet.
Oh, yes.